feeling blue, nothing left to do, my love. And if you're feeling bored, I know you know the cure. You know the cure. Let's go on an adventure, bop, bop, shoot, bop, 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 yeah. Let's go on forever. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's go on an adventure, bop, bop, shoot, bop, 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 yeah. Let's go on together. Let's go on an adventure.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Musical Chairs of Massachusetts. As always, we're coming at you from the Chair City of Gardner, Mass., where we shine a spotlight and feature local musicians of all genres from all over New England. And I am joined here also by my pal, Chris.
Hello, people of Internet land and YouTube land and audio land and Lego land. I like Legos. Sorry. Hi, guys. How are you doing? How's things? Nikki, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I don't know. Lately, I've been kind of moody.
Yeah.
Kind of just, I feel like maybe seasonal depression is upon us.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I don't know. Just
So
I feel like a cat, or I'm just moody and meh, and just want to sleep.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, then would this be your spirit animal?
that would 10,000% be my spirit animal.
Like, yeah, mother fudger.
So if you were listening on the audio version, there is a tuxedo cat currently up on our screen wielding a knife.
Oh, I'm glad you painted that picture because that's
Yes. And it is not a happy looking cat.
so it's like any normal cat.
A resting bitch face cat
Yeah.
wielding a knife. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If you had a spirit animal, what would it be?
Well, let me tell you, because we are only a couple days from Gobble Gobble Day, Thanksgiving, my spirit animal would be a turkey. Just a big old tofurkey.
A tofurkey, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, okay. And so if I came in a box as a turkey, it would just be like this cooked turkey with my head attached to it, with the big goofiest smile ever, and it would just say tofurkey.
I don't know, but for whatever reason, all I can picture right now is Big Bird sitting on a platter,
Yeah.
legs sticking out.
Like, boing, he's done.
Stick a fork in him.
Sticking a fork in him. Bring me that gravy. Anyways, yeah. So
It's getting dark.
It's getting really dark. Well, it's a good thing people like dark meat. Jesus. No, the grace comes before the meal. So, anyways. Yeah. So, Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful for you, Chris.
Oh, and you know what? I'm thankful for you too, Nikki.
Oh, thank you. And
Yeah.
I'm thankful for all of the awesome musicians that have come onto our show and the ones that have reached out to come onto our show, and, you know, just all of you guys. So thank you. Thank you for making this amazing.
Yes, I agree. I'm, you know, I think this is great. I think this is a great time just to reiterate our thankfulness for all the things related to the show. Like, you know, here we are sitting in sitting in November months, and you know,
We're booked out till March.
got booked out to March, and you know, looking back at the journey so far, it's been pretty wild. The fact that, you know, we started posting episodes in May of 2024. We started up a YouTube channel right around the same time. Our YouTube channel is like, you know, right now it's like 55 or 56,000
It's
views.
56,000. Yeah.
Yeah, and who knows what it'll be by the time this drops? So it could be a billion.
With a B.
With a B, like billions and billions of views.
Don't get us canceled, Christopher.
Sorry, that's a hot subject. But yeah, so and then just think about all of the musicians that we've had on the show. You know, we're having all these musicians. Actually, they're reaching out to us, and they're saying, "Hey, can we come on the show?"
Yeah.
I mean, our latest guest reached out to us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he submitted the form. So if you're a musician that wants to be on the show, just go out to any one of our social media, pages. You'll see a link tree there with an application of how to get on the show, or just, I believe if they send us a message on Facebook, the application will automatically come up. So definitely fill out an app. I'll be opening the books to scheduling more soon. So if you have submitted an application already, I have not forgotten about you. We're so booked out right now that we're waiting until it gets a little bit closer to reopen those books. Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to book out too far because schedules change, things pop up, especially that little thermometer on the turkeys to let you know the turkey's done. So you just really, got to be patient, but, you submit an application. We'll give you a listen. We'll check out your stuff, and if you're a good a good fit, wow, that's staying in. If you're a good fit for the show, this is what happens when your brain tries to combine words. If you're a good little doobie, you can come on the show. Oh man,
Please leave. Oh my god.
Yes, kids, the amount of fail is authentic. Anyways, so laugh it up. Anyways, so what's not a little so and so is our next musical guest. He is absolutely phenomenal. Does a lot of stuff around the southern Worcester County area, and then parts eastward, well established, and just really incredible. And can I point out too, we had a studio first today. Mm-hmm. Want to tell them what we had?
A banjo.
Yeah.
Another instrument that I've always wanted to learn how to play that, maybe someday I'll just buy to throw in the pile of other instruments I've always wanted to learn how to play.
I want to see an orchestra, like a full orchestra of nothing but banjos. Like different type of banjos, like the big banjo, baritone banjos, and like little mandolin banjos. I don't think I'm selling this to her.
Sounds like one of the most redneck
to make it
events.
Wait. To make it even better. Accompany the banjos with bagpipes, accordions, and banjos. That's the orchestra.
That sounds like nightmare fuel. Like, seriously.
Yeah. There won't be a dog not barking or howling within.
There'll be a lot of howls.
Yeah.
And everybody that attends gets a complimentary pair of earplugs.
Oh. Okay. But in this case, the banjo that was performed on this episode was
beautiful,
right? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
What a melodic instrument.
Seriously.
Like it. Yeah. Yes, it's a banjo, and everybody associates a banjo with like bluegrass and very twangy, but not in this case.
No, it was a really special performance, and usually too we have to plug in these instruments. But you can't plug in.
This is another studio first. We actually this is an unplugged episode.
Yeah, 100%.
Legit, we did not plug in this man's instruments, and he is just so good at what he does, and really has his craft together so well that the balance was there.
Yeah.
I literally didn't have to do anything.
Yeah. And it sounded angelic. Like it was, wow. So, but what a great guest, great story. You guys are in for a real treat with this gentleman. Like, yeah, it's good stuff. So, Nikki, why don't you go ahead and after this message, because we do still do these advertisements sometimes.
Sometimes they make a liar out of us, and sometimes they work. So yeah, we're gonna hear maybe from one of our partners, and then we'll get into it.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you are a nut.
Dan Cloutier is a New England-based singer-songwriter with a brand new album, The Iceberg, released on May 2nd, 2025. This project isn't just a record, it's the result of a year-long adventure that took Dan from Greenland to Newfoundland in search of real icebergs. Along the way, he recorded music, filmed videos, and shaped a body of work centered on finding hope during the darkest seasons of life. Just like an iceberg, the deeper meaning lives beneath the surface. Dan has sold out venues all across New England, including the legendary Club Passim in Cambridge. His music has earned radio rotation throughout the region, and he's opened for icons like John Hiatt, Richie Havens, Ellis Paul, and others. The Iceberg has already made front-page news in both New England and Newfoundland, and its first single, The Good Kind of Failure, is racking up rave reviews and award nominations. As Worcester Magazine puts it, Dan Cloutier delivers genuine folk greatness. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for having me. This is fantastic to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming down. We're so excited that you reached out to us, and I know like from the day that you reached out to us, I started following you, and I was like, oh man, this guy's great. Like, and your sound, and so I'm excited to just deep dive.
Thank you, guys. Well, this is huge. Not only just thank you for letting me come in, but for just supporting local Massachusetts and New England-based artists. This is such a need to get the word out there about, I mean, not just me, but all the fantastic artists you guys have done. So this is awesome stuff that you guys are doing.
Yeah, no,
we love doing it.
Yeah. So Nikki, you want to jump in?
Yeah. So when did you start getting into music?
Well, I mean, I always loved music as a kid. But it was junior high, right? So I grew up in the 90s, and in junior high, I really got into the Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana, and all my friends were into Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana, and it was kind of my friend circle, and it was just kind of like my group. I wasn't a jock. I wasn't like, the nerd. I was like in the alt rock world. So that was a big part of it. And then my mom had an old beater guitar under her bed, and my uncle taught me a couple chords, and it was just go from there,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I adore Smashing Pumpkins. That's like, so a little off the camera talk was like, hey, what are our top three? And of course, you guys would imagine Metallica was in there. But
there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Sprinkled in the episode.
Yes, there it is.
Yes.
Yeah. But, fourth on that list would have been Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, they were the band, like in junior high. I mean, so in junior high, I had 3 Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt and a Newbury Comics t-shirt.
Yeah.
With that smiley face, and 2 flannels. And it was a rotation of that was 2 years of my life.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's just they put up some great songs.
Yeah.
1979. I mean, that was a good year, you would say.
It's a great year.
Yeah.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
Good year, indeed. Good stuff.
Good stuff, right?
So what's the first song you learned how to play on a guitar?
The first song I learned how to play was a song I wrote. Like
Really?
I knew how to play an E minor and an A minor. Or
Okay.
an A2 chord, right? Which is just like if you look on the guitar, people hear you go like this and you go like that.
Yeah.
And before I started playing, I was writing poetry. So I'm leaning. I've always leaned towards writing. So I was able to put some of my poetry to some words. It was, it was junior high kind of drivel poetry. But yeah, the first like 10 songs I learned how to play was that. And then I'm sure it was like a couple Green Day songs and Smashing Pumpkins songs. Smashing Pumpkins were harder. I mean, Billy Corgan's a great guitar player, so it took me a while. But then, I think Cherub Rock was my favorite song, so I had to learn that. And it was a couple months of learning that specific song on the guitar. So yeah, super fun.
Nice. So now so your first song was when, at a very early age. How did the development of your music pan out as you developed that skill? Is music something that was always ingrained in you through you picking up an instrument, or was that something like family that
Yeah, it's interesting. So my uncle played the guitar. My uncle, his name was Dan Cloutier too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he taught me some chords. My parents, so I grew up in the church. My dad is a minister. And he used to sing, the hymns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he loved music. But I grew up in my parents just listened to like Amy Grant, and like that whole thing. So when I started to play songs, and one of the great things about growing up in the early 90s with that music is that they were all the great rock bands at the time really took art seriously, know, and so they all wrote their own songs, and all the kids are my age. I guess we have to write our own songs. That was a big ethic at the time. Yep. So it definitely drove me to write songs. Even starting, I think in 7th or 8th grade was the first song, and then through 9th grade. But then when you start writing songs, you begin to realize, well, there's other people who write songs too. It's not just like angsty rock music. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to listen to? Like, who are the great songwriters? And by the end of high school, I was beginning to get into Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan was like the linchpin. Because from Bob Dylan, you go to like, well, then where did Bob come from? You go to Woody Guthrie, and then who likes Bob Dylan? And you go to everything like that. So from that point, then it was kind of following who are the great songwriters. You find Joni Mitchell, as me as a guy in my 20s, finally got into like female songwriters, and like it opened up a whole new pathway. And then you just realize the songwriting goes all the way back to like the great hymn writers, right? From the 1700s, right? And you're like, well, what's going on here? What makes a great song? So then it's just, you're just following that, the whole way down.
I know it's funny that you talk about the female artists too, because I'm revisiting Alanis Morissette. And I'm like, it's just terrific stuff.
It was really great. And like, I remember like, so I had a friend who, because I grew up, like, I must have been in like 10th grade when You Ought to Know hit, right?
Yeah.
Amazing song. Really angsty, really angry song. And now I think it's amazing, but at the time I was just like, I didn't like it.
You do know who that's written about, right?
Oh, yeah. Full House has never been more interesting ever since I know
Uncle
that.
Joey.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I just told somebody that story like 2 months ago. Do you know what that song's about?
Yeah, that's about Uncle Joey. Yeah. Cut it out.
Dave Coulier. And my name's Dan Cloutier, so, like Dave Coulier.
Oh, man.
Google that at home if you want to know, guys.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, right. So at what point did your first song come to you? What time did you, write your first song?
Yeah, so I was just in like 8th grade in high school and dealing with that whole social structure, which is pretty devastating for us all, right? It's not like a good time,
Yeah, that's brave.
Well, like, and you just think about like this idea that like, we're going to have 24 kids who are like 13, just sit them all in a room together and see what happens. It's such an interesting social structure.
Right.
So, but you get feelings from that because it's tough and it's hard to be, I definitely was never one of the popular guys. So, It was just a lot of feelings, and it was a lot of like, one of my first songs was called "The King of Pose," which like the King of Posers, it's like this very kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And then it was pretty soon on. I was such a shy kid. One of the great things about being a songwriter is that eventually you write a song, you eventually kind of have to play it for somebody.
Yeah.
Like you can only be in your bedroom or your basement for so long. Like you got to play for your friends,
right?
And they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," like Dan's writing songs now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually you got to play it out someplace, right?
Yeah.
And I was lucky though at the time too. I was in like 10th grade. I started being like the worship leader in my youth group at the church.
Nice.
Which kind of gave me like some not being so afraid of people, because it really was like if my junior high version of myself be like, you go out and play in front of people, I would have been like, oh man, no way. But you create art, and the part of the responsibility of being an artist is like you're not. I believe that you're not really called to just hold it on. You're supposed to share it with people.
Yeah,
it could be for millions of people, like the famous people, but it could just be for when that one person needs to hear it.
So how old were you when you first started performing for people?
The first open mic I ever played was in Hopkinton. So I grew up in Hopkinton, Mass. And it was at the Masonic Hall right in downtown Hopkinton. And I played 2 original songs, and I played Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead.
Ooh.
And I think I must have been in like 10th grade.
Okay.
Something like that. And I was scared, and I did it. And it was on the local cable station for like years afterwards, and people would talk to me about it all the time. We saw you play the Radiohead song again. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I know. I've been playing Creep on the piano, but I've been obsessed with Let Down. I love that song.
I don't want to copyright strike you, but transport.
Yeah.
Disappointed people.
It's okay. We're covered. We got the covers covered.
Right.
But yeah, just Radiohead's number 5.
Number 5.
The number 5. But that's awesome. That's awesome.
Radiohead, when I was a senior in high school, became my number 1. They replaced Smashing Pumpkins, and then Dylan quickly replaced them. But
Yeah.
It's just amazing, the music that you listen to at that age, though. Like I just love it so much more than, because like now I'm like I've been a songwriter for a long time, so I'm critical, and I'd be like, this is like, I can think about like some Neil Young album that I like a lot, but I found out about it like when I was in my late 20s.
Yeah.
This is a great album. This is one of the best albums ever made. But I put it on, Billy, this is great. But like those songs that I heard when I was junior high, like they're just so powerful.
Oh,
music
I know.
at that age is so important for kids.
I mean, that was what, right around the grunge area, which
the whole thing, the grunge thing, but like I put on that Smashing Pumpkins album, Siamese Dream, and it still just transports me back there. Like you know, and we just need that. Music is beautiful that way.
It is.
Yeah.
It definitely transports you. Like revisiting the 80s and 90s. That's some of my go-to music right there, and some great times back.
Without a doubt.
So speaking of which, do you have a song for us?
Yeah, let's do a song. So this is one of the singles off my new album, The Iceberg, and it's called Synapses Fire. Hope you like it. Well, through the streets in London, a ghost was born. Spiders on my headphones. The Queen was on her throne. It felt good to be alone before the pillars were all torn down. Synapses fire, synapses fire. Synapses fire, synapses fire. Light up the city sky. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. It was June in London in 2004. Life was an open door. The record store in Trafalgar Square. Live this life without a care. All my neurons burning all down. Synapses fire, synapses fire. Synapses fire, synapses fire. And light up the city sky. Well, through the streets in London, where all the bombs once fell, but it's rebuilt now. The Queen reflects a throne, and we never are alone. All my new pillars will be reborn. Synapses fire, synapses fire. Synapses fire, synapses fire. Light up the city sky. Do-do-do-do. 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 Go!
Oh, wow. Awesome job.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I have to ask, what inspired you to write that song?
Well, this is great because it leads right up into the conversation we just had.
Yeah.
When I got to college, my favorite band became Wilco. And I became
Okay.
a big Wilco. I still am a big Wilco fan. And so that song tells the story of in 2004, I was in the city of London with my family on a family vacation.
Okay.
And that's the day I bought the album A Ghost Is Born. And I roamed around London listening to this and it's their darkest album. It's this really intense, dark album.
Yeah.
But I wrote the song 20 years later, right?
Okay.
And I wrote the song after my dad passed away.
Oh.
And when my dad, so the whole Iceberg project is the concept that, there's a lot of hope during dark times.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And like an iceberg, you can't see what's underneath. You don't know what people are struggling with.
Right.
And during that time, I needed to. So my dad died, and COVID was really hard. We all experienced COVID. We
Yes.
universally experienced that. It was a tough time. And then there's a family member who went through a real serious mental health issue. And that, for the first time in my life, put me in a real dark place. So I needed therapy, and first time in my life on some medicine to help me out, right?
Yeah.
And medicine's interesting because medicine, usually you're like really happy, you can be really sad.
Oh,
and
yeah.
medicine like cuts it, but it cuts both sides.
It does.
So for that year that I was on it, I didn't write a lot. I wrote one song.
Okay.
But when I started to get off the medicine, when I started to taper down, the week that I stopped, I wrote that song. So I felt like my synapses were firing again. And then I was reflecting on the time, this beautiful time with my family. You know, that we were in a foreign country, and I was listening to my favorite album, one of my favorite albums, and times are perfect. But then reflecting to the forward, to the future, thinking about how my synapses are still firing. There's hope even after death, and boom, kind of going on. So that's what that song is.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that too. And just the metaphorisms of icebergs, like, they're temporary, but they're so beautiful when they're there.
So beautiful. They're gorgeous. So if anybody gets a chance to go, I was very lucky to be able to go see one a couple of occasions. But man, it's gorgeous. They're temporary. They shift. They flip.
Yeah.
They're this very kind of like this, like it's like this piece of art that just exists, but is never going to be the same again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool. Just like a human.
Just
right?
like a human.
Just like
yeah.
a human. Just like a human.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I love too how music can intercede with those moments in our lives. It's really a form of expression, to really just let it out, like, especially those life moments that really impact us. So it's music's free therapy.
It is. Yeah. I mean, like, you think about, like, the reason why I was drawn to the Smashing Pumpkins as a teenager, because they talked about being sad, right?
Yeah.
And that's good. And it's really healthy to know that you can do that. And the reason why I love Bob Dylan and Wilco now, and a lot of great songwriters, or Patty Griffin, is because they do a similar thing. It's not always just sadness, it's happiness too, right? It's really important to have a well-balanced like outcome, like with your art. But it's just the job of the artist to make sure people don't feel alone,
Yeah, 100%.
It's so easy to feel alone in this day of distraction and stuff like that. And when you hear an artist sing a song because you're going through maybe a season of depression, and be like, wow, I can relate to this because I'm not alone, right?
Yeah. And it's funny because you would think after COVID and experiencing the most loneliest time in our lives, that afterwards we would really have this revolution in trying to unite and just be together. But we've kind of allowed the lingering effects of COVID into our society now, and we're still kind of alone.
Yeah. And the advent of the technology. I mean, this little thing right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing.
Yeah.
Dangerous. That's a dangerous little thing.
It is. It's both amazing and dangerous.
I held up a cell phone for everyone on the podcast. So
Yeah.
That's right.
For the audio version, he just held up a cell phone.
It's dangerous though. It makes us really lonely because, like, you feel like you're connected, right?
Yeah.
You go home, you have like a couple hundred friends, or maybe 1,000 friends on Facebook or Instagram or whatever you use, and like you're feeling connected, but you're not.
Right.
That's the beauty of what you guys are doing. But like this show right here is a direct response, like, on the positive of COVID.
Oh yeah.
Like, things shut down, and you had this idea, Chris, right?
Yeah.
And like, this would have this existed if we didn't go through that experience?
Probably not. No.
And it's not just, obviously right now we're in the room like having this real conversation together.
Yeah.
But people can hear that and people can be inspired by that. So there's positive things. I see the art world opening up again.
I do too. Yeah.
And I think it could even get better than it was before in the art world. But obviously as a society, we sure need it, gosh.
Yeah.
It's tough out there.
It is. I know. It's just like you said. It's, and Nikki, you'll agree, like, we have guests come on the show, and they're guests. They could be complete strangers to us. And what's unique about it is when they leave as friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show how important that human face-to-face connection is.
It's so important. And as an artist, when you're performing a show, right, and there's all sorts of different shows, but let's say you're performing any show and just somebody connects with you.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's a real human connection because people need that.
Sure.
That's kind of our job. Like, not just as artists, because I think I actually believe very strongly that every human's an artist in some form or another, and everyone has something to say that's important.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really important,
Yeah. Nikki, you got a question?
Yeah. So kind of going back to, you said writing this album and like the inspiration of the iceberg and all of that. Can you share a moment where you think you made an impact on somebody's life through your music? Is there anything that sticks out?
Yeah, it's interesting. So because this whole album's really dealing with a lot of like, songs that I wrote about a tough time in life, right?
Yeah.
And I've had so many people come up to me who have recently, I have a friend who's recently going through, a breakup, and they reached out to me just, and we reconnected because of the album, but they're reaching out to me because they just need some help, outside of that, and I can be there for them. And we wouldn't have reconnected after that if it wasn't for the art, Tons of people come up to me afterwards, be like, they've gone through loss. Some of the songs are about grief and stuff like that, and they've been like, hey, when I lost my grandfather or somebody, the song was really helpful, really powerful to me. And it's just pretty amazing to be part of a story like that,
Sure.
Because when you go through something hard, which, if you're going to live a full life, we're all going to do it, right? I remember talking to somebody after my dad passed, and they were like, my dad was like 70. He died of cancer. And it was pretty sudden and pretty quick. But like, I had enough love in my life that I was able to mourn him, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like, they were just asking me a question about like, do you wish this on somebody else? Well, the opposite is worse, right? Like it's either they had a bad relationship with their parents, or maybe you don't want to die before them. Like, so a good life contains hard times. It contains grief, right?
Yeah.
If you wish somebody actually to have a good life, that means they had love in their life.
Sure.
They're going to go through loss, and
it's fulfilled.
It's fulfilled, and to come alongside people in the midst of that is really powerful,
Right.
Yeah. It's, those tough moments too shape our character. Like, it makes you realize, what's really important in life and what isn't, and what takes a back seat, and it kind of adjusts your perspective on things. And it's not always easy, but you just got to keep going.
You just got to keep going. Yeah. No matter what situation you're in, just like life will change.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I've had a friend who's been in a dark place, and it's just like, it's going to get better. Right now it doesn't feel like it is, but it will. And then it's going to get hard again. But that's okay. That's why we're here for each other.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes those, for me at least, I imagine for you too, Nikki, and everybody else, music has played a big part in my life as far as getting me through those tough times.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, think about it, between the therapeutic aspect of you writing the songs, and then from there it translate to, whoever's hearing it that it resonates with. It's all like a full circle kind of therapeutic experience if you think about it.
Yeah, and it's that, but it's also just building relationships, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I recorded this album with my friend Eric Lesperance, who's part of a great folk duo out of Worcester, and we knew each other beforehand, but then like, we spent a week in Greenland together recording some of this stuff, and it was like we're really good friends now.
Right.
Like, it's almost like
a bonding moment.
Yeah, and it's like, and I was talking to my wife about it, and it's just like, if the only benefit I got out of this whole artistic endeavor was my friendship with Eric, well, then that's worth it.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot more, right? I've reconnected to so many people. I was able to travel to these places because I did a huge Kickstarter campaign, and I was able to raise a lot of money. So a lot of people want to support too. And it's just really powerful. So it's not like, it's got some good reviews overseas, and it's got some radio play and stuff like that. But I wouldn't trade like anything for like the human side of it, right?
Right.
That's what it's about. And that's what music's able to do, right? So it's not just like when I play a concert, like I might be the person on stage, or if I'm at like church doing the worship thing, then I'm the person on stage. But like we're the audience is really just as important as me, because we're having this human connection instead of it just being like, I think a lot of artists can be like, it's about me and I'm the star, but like break it down, like we're just all on this planet together, like we're all going through it.
Yeah, this big floating rock, and trying to make do. And
yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say that we should take a break. or allow for when we do these advertisement breaks, we never know if they're actually going to be an advertisement. I know for you people watching YouTube, it's just like, okay, there goes 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we'll be right back after these maybe messages, and here we go.
And we're back. Maybe it made a liar out of us. Maybe you did hear an ad. Who really knows?
You never know.
You never know.
So Dan, could you give us another song?
Let's do another song. Yeah. So this is the single that you mentioned. It's a song called "The Good Kind of Failure," and I think it's when you go through hard times, you realize that sometimes failure can be actually the thing that gets you on the right track.
Yeah.
And so let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wish there was a word for that good kind of failure. 'Cause we all fall down when we first learn how to walk. And holding my hand ain't always doing me a favor. I wish there was a word for that good kind of failure. And I wish it didn't hurt so much when you skin your knee. But it's all just part of being this human company. See, some scars are bad, but others can be lifesavers. I wish there was a word for that good kind of failure. Well learned, 'cause even grief can grow your heart. All of life's most precious things goes through seasons of suffering, and we all go through a little failure at the start. So now, when I'm down on the ground, I know you will pick me up. You see, falling over isn't only just bad luck. Without all these trials, how can we grow braver? I wish there was a word for that good kind of failure. Woohoo! Thank you, guys. Much appreciated.
Yeah. I've had some pretty good failures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. It's the way of the human.
It really is. Yeah. It's every failure is a lesson, kids. And iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So, like you think about it. You don't say the kid the little baby. You got a baby.
Yeah.
And they're they take a step, but they don't make it. You're like, oh, that kid just failed.
Yeah.
Fail, kid, fail.
Fail kid. So it's just the idea is we really do we need an English word to be because that's not failure. It's that's awesome job, try again kind of thing. It's progress.
Yeah. So now you have, coming out of COVID, you started, you started a journey.
Yeah.
And you went
a journey.
You're that little man behind you. Yeah.
It was me.
Right?
In the country of Greenland, yes.
With
indeed.
no penguins?
With no penguins. Just so there's some context there, we do utilize a little bit of AI just to format the picture into the background so it fits the TV.
Make it long.
Make it long, right?
Yeah.
and it put penguins, and it was like they were the same size as Dan.
Right over
They were
here.
human-sized penguins.
And I was like, I was kind of tempted just to keep it there. It's like
It would have been pretty epic. I mean, there's no penguins in Greenland, but that would have been funny. It would have been an interesting Easter egg.
it would have
Right.
been.
For like the two like, people who get like, wait, I thought you went to Greenland, not Antarctica.
Well, it's even funnier is Chris is like, look what it just did. And I looked, I'm like, oh, it gave him friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that adventure was amazing. So, the idea. So when COVID kind of shut down my music thing. I ran open mics for about 15 years, for 13 years in a place in Framingham at an art center, and then the last year I was at the Burn in Somerville running an open mic, and I love open mics because it's just people. You just learn to love music better. You learn to understand that everyone's an artist. So really great. But that shut that whole thing down, right? And open mics are finally beginning to come back. Open mics were going to be the last thing to come back because nobody wanted to share a mic with 40 other people for a couple of years post-COVID. Even once it was safe again, people were like, eh.
They're putting a mask on.
I actually went to a
know.
karaoke, like when the world started to open up. It was, I don't know, probably like 2-3 years ago. And they gave me a microphone cover.
Yeah, microphone covers or like
Yeah.
a little like a wipe, like they would wipe down the mics now. So,
Yeah.
So it really shut me down. And I've done a bunch of albums over the years. My first album came out in like 2006, and then one in 2000. So, anyways, but I was just sitting around, and after things were better, after my dad and my loved one is doing great now, then they're not struggling anymore. And so I was just like, okay, I got this group of songs. I know this group of songs fit. But like, what's the story? Because how do you tell a story nowadays with everyone's attention on social media and the world and stuff like that, and with AI, right? So like AI can write a song.
Oh, I know.
Right. So how do we make this more human? And it's just this idea of like, well, it could be an album and an adventure.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, well, so if I make an adventure, I call it the iceberg. Maybe the adventure is I need to go find an iceberg. Like, so my wife and I, we honeymooned in like Barrow, Alaska, which is the northern tip of Alaska.
Oh yeah.
And we've been down to Tierra del Fuego. I've been to Iceland before this project. So I kind of was obsessed with this that kind of world, like the kind of barren tundra. My 2017 album is called The Battle of Greenland.
Nice.
Which every once in a while gets streamed because the crazy world at the moment and the political situation.
Yeah.
But it was written way before that. Anyways, so I was like, well, maybe the idea is like I'll go see an actual iceberg. Because the iceberg, they break off of Greenland, they float in the ocean for a couple of years. Just that, and as you said, they're one of a kind. They change rapidly and stuff like that. So I'll go find one. And I started a Kickstarter campaign. And I had a goal: if I was able to raise $5,000, I would basically be an acoustic album, and I would drive up to Newfoundland by myself and try to find an iceberg because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And the project ballooned. I raised like over $20-something thousand.
Wow.
And I said that the stretch goal was like if I reach 10, then I can go to Greenland.
Yeah.
But it ended up being this thing that like just the swell of support. I think the swell of support because people knew I'd been through it, right? Like my dad was a minister. There's a lot of people who really loved him. He was a really great guy, like the good kind of minister. He wasn't like a judgy guy. Just loved people, loved God. I mean, just an awesome dude. So just the groundswell of support. And then, so in the summer of 2024, I was able to first take my family. We planned our family vacation to Newfoundland, flew into St. John's, and then I was able to drive around. I finally found an iceberg after a 10-hour drive. I left the family behind because usually there's icebergs that time of the year, but it was a bad season for icebergs. There's one town like literally on the other side of Newfoundland. Newfoundland's the size of New England, so it's this huge area of land. And I was able to see my first iceberg there, and it was way far away. And I'm like, oh, I saw one. I'm here. I did the adventure. I completed this. Because at that point, I'm like, I all these people following me. But then the next day, I was able to take a boat out to see it up close, and I made YouTube videos about it. And then a couple months later, I took my friend Eric, who's my sound engineer, and we went to Greenland. It was supposed to be for 5 days, but then we got stuck there for 3 extra days because of the fog.
Oh, wow.
Because the airports are so small, they can't fly in and out. So we just got grounded. It was wild.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I missed my daughter's first day of middle school.
Oh, that's funny though. Like, people I hear, they're like, I'm going to take a drive. I'm going to go find the nearest Walmart. You on the other hand, was like, I'm going to go find the nearest iceberg.
Well, but the idea was that was the adventure. So how do I make this? How do I make this album approachable in an artistic way? Like, how do I make people interested in it? And it's helped, right? Like having this kind of adventure aspect to it is the reason why it's been my most successful project so far, which is fun. And I think a lot of artists should maybe consider that. Like, how can you take your story because it's all storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Even the adventure is part of the storytelling, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm hopefully going to do it on my next project, not an iceberg project. I have a scheme for my next one. It's like, okay, it's fun. It's fun to just. I don't know.
The next one's a safari.
Yeah, the next one he's going to go find a gorilla.
Gorilla.
But no, that's great though. I love that. I love the dynamic and the depth of building an album from an adventure, and it just adds so much more to it than just.
I mean, because like AI can't do that yet.
No, exactly.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and speaking of AI, like. You hear all these remixes from AI, and in genres like, oh, that's cool. I've always wondered what that cover or that song would sound like covered in this genre. But the problem is, at least with me, is what I found is that no matter like if you actually do like the song and you're like, wow, that's really cool, I can never see that live.
Exactly.
I can never see that performed live.
No, and it wasn't part of somebody's story.
Yeah,
Not really.
Right.
It's out. It does make it less human.
it really does.
And I think we need to. I think in the next, probably forever, we need to really focus on like what makes us human and why is that special.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
So we don't lose that.
Yeah. Nikki, you got a question?
Yeah. Do you have a dream venue? If you could perform anywhere in the world.
A dream venue? Oh gosh.
Is it iceberg?
Is it on an iceberg?
Well, like I don't think I care. I mean, like you just mentioned, you're like some band you like is going to Red Rocks. That'd be cool because that venue is awesome.
That is.
But I think it'd be really fun to like. So like the White Stripes on their last tour, they ended up doing this like they went to every province and like territory in Canada and just played these random like gigs in like in the Northwest Territories at like an Elks club.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
And I think like that's cool. Like, I just think that because like you can play like a big crowd in front of it anywhere, and I don't know if that's my story. Like I don't know. Like
Well,
I'm
you wanna
46. Like I don't think I'm gonna be playing in front of like 10,000 people, but it'd be pretty cool to like be like in some kind of isolated place, like playing like a show for like 10 people who haven't seen live music in like a couple decades. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Some kind of isolated show, but you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, there you go. That's the perfect definition right there of like the human connection, the human experience of like, yeah, you could play Red Rocks or yeah, you could play the Elks Lodge where, you're in front of 25 people and it's small and it's intimate and you can connect, with them.
Yeah, or maybe we play a song at a recovery group and it changes somebody's life,
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, it's a fine line. Like what, but it's always that battle, the inner battle. Like, do you want more fame or do you want to actually help people? Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy too that you
I'm trying hard to push towards the help people thing, but we're all
Right.
in it,
Yeah.
It's crazy too that you brought up the White Stripes because I mean, off camera we were talking about like bands that we really loved, and I completely spaced on the White Stripes. I've been listening to them literally since I was in middle school. Again, I like those deep cuts that aren't mainstream. So yeah, and I also love the fact that it's literally just two people.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's literally just two people.
Yeah, they're fantastic. So I was in my 20s when I got into White Stripes, but they were one of the 2 or 3 acts in my 20s.
Yeah.
Just because it was two people, it's human.
Yeah.
And they just got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Was I think last week? Was it last week?
Yeah.
And Meg didn't come. But there's always that thing about like people talk about Meg White, but like I saw the White Stripes live like twice, and she was so awesome. And like it's technicality is irrelevant when you can just bring that much humanity and feeling into the
Sure.
playing.
Oh, yeah.
It just like they kind of fell off the face of the earth for a little while, and then like now they're like you're hearing the name pop up again.
Yeah, that's
which
really great.
I think is awesome because they again they don't get the recognition I think they really deserve. And there's a few bands that I've mentioned, on the show in the past before too.
Yeah.
That you're starting to hear their names pop up again, and I'm like, good. I'm glad.
You know what blows my mind was like when I first found out about the White Stripes, they had that whole persona like brother and sister, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, well, this is cool. It's like a family event here, and then the curtains pulled back, and I was like, oh wait, they're
Ex-wife, ex-husband.
yeah.
So it's kind of cool, like in a sense, because in the music you can kind of just create your own world.
Yeah.
Yep.
You tell your own story.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. And I always liked how Jack White, because he's had a successful career post White Stripes. His new album was great. I saw him in Boston last winter.
Oh, nice.
but he's always just spoke so highly of Meg, even
Yeah.
after like she was one who chose to end the band. It's just powerful. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep. So now you've played. Speaking of venues, you've played around the area here in Worcester County. How do you feel about the music scene around here?
Well, I think it's getting a lot better. Which I mean, COVID was scary. I think for art, right? It was scary, and it was. I mean, there was some good stuff. Like some people were able to do a lot of house kind of things. Like like that's kind of you started, right? You were able to do all these broadcast live streams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was real hard for me because it was other things were going on, but I wasn't hosting, I wasn't gigging, I wasn't writing because I was going through this hard time.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing it grow again, man. Like even in my little town, I live in the town of Upton.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to start an art center, right? That's going to bring in live music.
Oh, nice.
And you just see the scene in Worcester. There's so many more open mics. There's so many more venues that are doing live music again.
Yeah.
And the community that's growing around seems pretty healthy again. And there was definitely a season that I would have been like it wasn't healthy. And I would say before COVID, I didn't feel like it was healthy. So maybe it's getting healthy. So I think it's good. It's so needed though. That's what we said earlier. I mean, people need connection, and music and art is really one of the main ways that people can meet new people and be connected in healthy ways.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that because I don't know what this music community would look like hadn't COVID not happened. But I know in other areas, the music community can be kind of very gatekeepy.
Yep.
And I feel here, at least in the North Central...
Some areas are more gatekeepy than others.
Yeah. But,
oh, yeah. I mean, Boston can be pretty gatekeepy.
Yeah.
Cambridge and
Out
Boston.
in Western Mass can too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the iron... Yeah.
But I feel, though, as this area... we just have
Central Worcester.
With Central Worcester area, we just have a lot of musicians that lift each other up and support each other, and that's incredible.
I would agree with that, and because for a long time I was kind of more Boston focused.
Yeah.
Even though I live in Worcester County, it's kind of like like that's where the folk scene is. That's where like the singer-songwriter scene is a little bit more. So when I finally began to play Worcester, it was really a different thing because it didn't have that element of pretentiousness, right? The musicians were really good too, but if I walked into an open mic for the first time and I presented myself in this kind of really professional way, they'd be like, they'd almost not like me because I was too polished.
Oh,
because I think they were afraid they've been burned by people who probably aren't nice, right? Because they know they're good and they don't want to have somebody from like Boston to come in and tell them like this is how you really do it. Like that's just obnoxious. So but I think it's going good. I'm really pleased with what's happening in specifically Worcester, in all the towns like that surround Worcester. Up here and down where I live and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, these open mics are so crucial to just getting exposure for a lot of these talented musicians out there. But it also, I think, is helping to revitalize the music culture in general. I think it's starting to really help reverse some of the pullback that we've seen in the educational system on the music programs, which I think is great.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah. Nikki, you want to take the next question?
Yeah. Living or dead, if you could collaborate with any artist, or you could do a living and a dead, who would that be?
I was looking forward to this question because I've been listening to the pod.
Yeah.
So I knew this one was coming. All right, there's lots of answers to this question. Can I just blast through?
Oh, this is a loaded question now.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
So I really love this old blues musician, Blind Willie Johnson. He was like from Texas, 1920s. He recorded like 20 songs, all on singles. And I just think that he's just the baddest dude, and I would just love to sit down with him because he would just be so surprised. I think like, A, I would just be like, hey, you're really awesome in the future. People love you because he didn't have any success in his own day, and B, like he just wrote really weird religious songs, and I just love to play him some of my weird religious songs and be like, what do you think of this? And he'd be like, that's weird, man. And I'm like,
so how did you discover him then?
If you went once I got into Dylan and began to do the history. I mean, in college I have a degree in history, so I'm kind of prone to that kind of thing. So when you go back into the thing in the history of American music, recording music, and you get to the blues, like he's somebody who pops up. Blind Lemon Jefferson, Blind Willie McTell. So he's amongst those guys. And so I began to listen to all those guys, and he was the one who's just like, oh, this guy. He wrote weird songs about the Titanic sinking and like, you know, songs about going through hard times. So anyway, so he'd be the dude that I probably would say, because I think he'd just be the most wild, and there would be he's not famous in his own life, so it'd just be interesting to talk to him, be like, and have the conversation, be like, you're awesome, and people really like you in the future. Be like, really? You know? If I could pick somebody to record one of my songs, it'd be Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash so much, and I have one song that I would just love Johnny Cash to have recorded. A song called Chainmail is actually on the new album.
Yeah.
If it was just somebody like a modern artist, I'd probably be Jeff Tweedy of Wilco, because he seems like, he's a nice guy, and I love him a lot, and they got that loft in Chicago that they do a lot of recording, so I think that'd be cool. That'd be like, and I feel like I could like be like, thanks, Jeff, you meant a lot to me, and he just wouldn't be like, another fan.
Yeah.
You know. And as much as I love Bob Dylan, I would never want to meet Bob Dylan. If Bob Dylan was in this room right now, I would just pretend I didn't know who it was, because I don't want to bother Bob Dylan.
Like,
can you imagine, cause it's like, be like, hey man, Bob, I'm such a big fan. It's like, man, I'm not in the mood right now.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't want to like
You and everyone else, man.
The chances of me like making Bob mad, I don't want to make Bob mad. That would be a bad thing.
Do you think Bob would actually get loud if he was mad?
Oh man,
I think he's a weird dude, so I think he's, who knows? I think he could just storm off and just like, you know, I don't think he's loud though. I think he'd just be like.
It would be very passive aggressive, I think.
Yeah.
There's a chance of that.
Yeah.
just completely ignore you. You know, I don't know.
I'd be like, oh, hi, Robert. And you're like, oh, no. Like, sorry.
Robert's my father, man.
You ever heard of this act, Sufjan Stevens?
No.
He's like a indie rocker from like the past 20 years. He's a great songwriter, but he always does his weird Christmas album projects, and I'd like him to hear some of my Christmas songs. So that I think that's the list.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. That can be your manifestation station goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
But that's a fun question. I like the answers that other people have given on this podcast.
No,
Yeah.
this was a fun answer, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So out of all the gigs that you've performed out there, do you have a crazy story that kind of stands out?
Crazy story. I've been really lucky to have like crazy story. I ran open mics for a long time, so there was always that chance that somebody came to an open mic like, and I'm in charge, and like they're drunk, like, you know, like you need to leave, or like, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you know, like, so my favorite show of the year. I work at a place in Hopkinton for a nonprofit that helps adults and children with disabilities. And
nice.
I've been there for like 22 years. Awesome organization. It's in Hopkinton, Mass. And I do music therapy a little bit, but now I do mostly like administrative and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we do a coffee house once a year, or a concert, and it was on Thursday, just 2 nights ago, and like 200 people came, and each song my band and I played 17 songs, and each song one of the individuals with disabilities came up and they either sang or played harmonica or played drums with us, like on a hand drum, and just seeing the reaction that they got by their friends and families to how generous. So that's my favorite show of the year. We've done 18 of those, and it's special. And I've never seen it someplace else, and I feel pretty lucky that I'm the one involved in it. So it's the best.
No, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I you know, and we need more of that.
We need more of it. We need
Right?
more of it. Yeah, we need more, because they you know, it's surprising. A lot of my friends are actually really talented.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe not going into the studio recording something professional talented, but like they're just, when you, again, like I get a better response at that show of my songs than any other show of the year.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they're involved.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it has so much less to do about me. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's always extra special. I mean, you know, musicians in general are very grateful for the venues that they get to play at. But the ones that really hit home are the ones where everybody's engaged.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're rare. They're hard shows. You know, like I'm lucky enough that I love my day job, and I can be picky, and like, you know, I get to play the breweries or the festivals that I like. That, like, I'm gonna be up in Allagash Brewery in Maine in a couple weeks, and because I like that place, and my sister used to work there, and I know some people, but like I don't have to, like, you know, that daily grind of like, I have 2 gigs this weekend, one's at a bar, no one's going to listen. Like those are good and healthy, really good gigs, because you're making money and you're giving a service to people.
Right.
But I'm lucky that I get to be kind of picky and play the shows that are kind of more nourishing to me.
That's awesome.
You're more than just background noise, basically.
Yeah, and the background noise is sometimes really good though.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do those shows.
Right.
I just don't have to rely on them.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
that's the key.
Yeah. So speaking of shows, want to give us a song?
Yeah, let's do a song. Talking to these guys, they seem to be like some rockers.
Yeah.
So I mean, just so like like Metallica and stuff like that. So like I went from the alt rock world, Dylan, and I went really folky and like this like the Boston singer songwriter world, and went back into alt rock. So I never really had a metal moment until last year when I got really into the new Judas Priest album.
Oh yeah.
Like not the old Judas Priest, just
Right.
the new album. So I went to their show, and I had to be the only one there to be like, just play the new songs.
Oh yeah.
But this is my most rockin' song from the new album. It's called Windshield Wipers. It's not metal. I mean, it's still pretty folky. But
Yeah, right.
1, 2, 3, 4. Pedal on the gas, we got somewhere to go. Route 95, my neurons all glow. Feel the wind in my hair. I'm trying to live a life without a care for one night. Oh yeah. As I'm driving down the road, the sky turns black. Not what the weatherman told. He's full of filthy lies. And boom, I see lightning strike a tree. The thundering sound shake from my head to my feet. I need to get going fast. All right now. Windshield wipers go faster, faster, faster. You're not turning fast enough, no. 'Cause all this rain's gonna run me off the road. And all this rain's gonna run me down. I better put my headlights on before the sunlight in this crooked world's long gone. Never know what's gonna swerve in your lane. You just knows that things are never gonna be the same. But how am I gonna live with 6 months of pain? How am I gonna live with 6 months of rain? And I feel trapped in those dark, man. Look out now. Windshield wipers go faster, faster, faster. You're not
you. Wow. Yeah. You know, I'm never going to look at windshield wipers again the same. Just like, hello.
That was a toe tapper for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun to play that one at like the breweries because the kids, sometimes I have the kids in the background, they begin to go like this. So they just naturally start doing it. It's the cutest thing.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And you know, and I love, like I'm a fan of songwriting in general, but I always love when a songwriter can evoke some emotion out of something that we're just so used to seeing day to day, like either tape measure or in this case, windshield wipers and rain.
The wipers on the bus go swish, swish.
Right? But that was great. That was awesome.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Very, very kind of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki, you want to got a question?
So, do you have any advice that you would give any musicians starting out?
Yeah. Yes. Don't do it by yourself. Well, do a lot by yourself, you know, but like there's such a great community out there. And go out there and find what that is for you in specific, you know, like depending on what genre you're in, like if you're in hip hop, go find some people who are like-minded and do it. And the benefit of that is that you're going to get better because you're around other people who are doing it. And that's just how I think humans get better. We just don't get better in isolation, you know, like I was talking to my wife again about something last night and we were just talking about like, we're all dependent. Like none of us are like making the milk or the bread, right? Or some of us are, but like then no one who's making the roads, who's making your car. Like we need each other, and music and art works that way too. And so make sure you get out there and find like-minded people and support each other. Make it not just about you. Like because if you support somebody else, if you actually want success, if you want to do this as a job, support other people because they're going to be the ones who support you in the end too, right? They're the ones who are going to be the connection. If you want to get those connections, you got to do it that way. And then realize that a lot of it isn't about like, again, like as I said, like the last project I did, like I've had some success, but I would trade all the public praise and the money that I made from the album just for my new friendships I made from this, because that's what the heart of it. That's the heart of it, right? So like realize that like the friendships and the community that you're building is way more important than the career aspirations. So I recommend that.
I think that goes without saying, even for what we're doing here on the podcast, you know, like it costs us money out of our own pockets to put this on every time. But the friendships that we have made and, you know, the connections and, you know, everyone that we've met and it's almost 2 years now, like it's worth it. It's worth the money coming
100%.
out of my pocket every month to make this happen and
it's awesome.
Put this platform out for you guys. So I definitely can relate to that.
And what a community service it is though too. So not only are you guys connecting to like, you know, the first time I met you guys, but this is a really fun conversation.
Yeah.
But it's just so powerful that art can do that and that you can also bring hopefully more people on. Hope people listening to this podcast or the other podcast be like, you know what, maybe I'm going to do it too. Because we're all, so the other thing that I would say to a young aspiring musician is just remember that everyone's created to be, an artist, right?
Yeah.
And so inspire other people along the ride. Like, you know, be an inspiration. You know, don't be like I've never been a big fan of the idea of like being the star, because like if you're a star, then you're far away from everyone. Right. I think it's okay if people get there because they're really talented. Like, you know, like people like Whitney Houston and stuff like that. Those fantastic talents. But like, don't be isolated. Don't get yourself lost. And then be brave, right? Like, just take a chance. Like it's okay. Like, if you get up to an open mic and the song's not good, like, people are really generous. Like, you know, like.
Right.
And then if you're at an open mic and you get up there and people don't like it or are mean to you, then just don't go back to the open mic, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be around those people. Be around the people who are going to be generous and creative, you know?
I was actually shocked when I played my first open mic with the piano. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
The last time I played the piano in front of people was back in high school talent show. But you're right. Like, everybody was so supportive.
Yeah.
You know? And
Well, because we've all been there. Like, you know, like, I've been playing for 30 years. And it was 30 years ago that I played my first open mic. So, like,
Yeah.
I've been doing it a long time. But, like, it doesn't mean that, like, what you do isn't valuable. And, like, so, I ran an open mic for a long time. And I saw some amazing open mic people at my open mic, but in other open mics, like, real talented people who are doing it full time now, right, eventually. But my favorite memories from that is that whenever there was a new person, first time coming to the open mic.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So there's this friend of mine, we became good friends, and he unfortunately passed away, but he started coming, he was about 50, let's say in his 50s. Never performed in front of anybody before. Started coming to open mic for about 4 months. Came every month, and I'm like, hey, what's your name? And the first time, I'm like, hey. And then by the end, 4 months later, I'm like, so do you play? He's like, yeah, I do. I'm thinking about maybe trying. So then he eventually comes up and he plays.
Yeah.
And he struggled through a song because he's nervous, right? Like, because like that's where but I remember being real nervous when I was a teenager in Hopkinton, right?
Right.
And in that moment, you think about this, like I remember I hosted thousands open mics and I played lots of shows, and I don't remember most of them, but I really remember that first one, right?
Yeah.
And I knew in the moment I was watching this guy up there having this moment that was going to be with him for the rest of his life. This really powerful moment. So like Bruce Springsteen himself could have been at the open mic, played, Born in the USA and left, and everyone in the audience would remember it probably,
Yeah.
but like Bruce wouldn't remember that.
No, not at all.
No.
But this guy, my friend Mike, it was just this powerful realization of like what are the moments that really matter, like, and this is one of those moments. And I was and just me just hosting open mic, and I was able to be part of his story, and that's a really powerful thing.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, you can get all the way to the top, but then you can become really disconnected.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that's really special is that human connection.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful in the music world because, I've seen some really awesome, even some bigger bands back in the early 2000s that were a thing with WAF and whatever, playing these small venues like Jared's over in Attleboro, 300-person capacity. And, there we are, we're talking to this gentleman who sounds like he's from London or whatever, and turns out is the drummer of the band Raw. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, sorry, mate, I gotta go up to play our gig now. And I was like, oh, and it's like, oh, it's the guy. It's the drummer.
I had a very similar experience.
Yeah?
I was out in Philly. I went out there for an EDM festival, and I don't even know how I got tickets or somebody invited me to this, but it was at a recording studio, and it was 75 people max to see this EDM artist. He was from the UK. His name is Rizzo, and I'd never really heard of him before, which is surprising for me. But everybody was just so excited to see him and all that. And I don't know, I walked in, I was just hanging out outside, and there was just a random guy standing there all by himself. So I'm like, hey man, how's your night going? And he's like, oh, it's going pretty good, and not even thinking about it, he's speaking in a British accent, and we're just having this conversation. I'm like, all right, I got to figure out which door I got to. He's like, well, got the door on the left and the door on the right, and choose very carefully where you're going. He's like,
Oh, that's awesome.
And then he's like, well, I'm going to go on the door on the right. You want to come with me? I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And I walked in with him, and then up he goes and starts playing his music. I'm like, well, okay.
Well, I bet he really loved that too. 'Cause, part of I think people who get really famous is that they don't. It's hard to have normal human reactions when people have that fan relationship with you, right?
Yeah.
If you have like a friend relationship or just a person relationship with you, it's like it's real, and we need that. But like, these poor famous people have it hard. I actually think.
I know,
because the
right?
money and the fame makes the other parts hard. The important parts.
No, I was just having a friendly, fun conversation with a
He's like,
stranger.
you want to come in the door with me? Sure.
I'm going to go into this one over here. Okay, let's go.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's great too because like you might go to a concert and you might have that memory of that concert, for a while. I mean, maybe it's really memorable and it lasts longer. But when you have interactions like that, those
they stick for much longer, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can see why they really like this guy. Not only was his music great, but I'm like, this is a humble, cool dude, Like, I can see why.
Yep. Well, I can't believe that, we've recorded as long as we have. Because it feels like we're just getting started.
With, again, another humble, cool guy over here.
Yeah, exactly. I really appreciate you coming down and sharing the story. I want to visit one more song if you have another song.
Yeah, let's switch instruments.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is a banjo kind of hiding out there in the distance.
And okay, kids, I want to explain how excited I am because we haven't made it until we've had a banjo.
The studio first?
The studio first, right? I adore, I'm being completely sincere, I adore the banjo, so I'm excited.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
My friend made little iceberg on my banjo for me.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, no pun intended.
And this song, this is a song that ends the album, the Iceberg. This is called Iceberg 2. There's 3 Iceberg songs on it. And this is the one that has the most to do directly with the passing of my dad. So even when I released the album in May, I did the whole album, but I didn't play this song because I didn't think I could get through it in that venue, you know. Because we released the release show was at like the church where my dad was from. So, but we're doing it here.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're inspired by it, and thanks for listening. I really appreciate you guys for having me on and just having this wonderful conversation. We're all just icebergs on the sea. Just drifting and melting. Broken off from the source. And floating off course. Before I close my eyes, before I lay down to die, before I take my last breath of life, come outside and sing with me. Oh, Jerusalem in the air. Can you still sing through all your tears? When all the balloons had bowed down, ere you received your golden crown. Before I close my eyes, before I lay down to die, before I take my last breath of life, come outside and sing with me. Eternal buoyancy. There's so much below that we can't see. When our chains are unbound, the iceberg will flip upside down. Before I close my eyes, before I lay down to die, before I take my last breath of life, come outside and sing with me.
Wow. You know,
love that.
I know
Thank
you
you.
were plucking at the banjo strings, but that plucked my heartstrings. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing.
Just such a melodic sounding instrument.
Isn't it
That's
so
beautiful.
pretty? Like, it's such a
Yeah.
bad rap because I mean, like, people play it so fast, and it's really hard to play that way, the bluegrass way. But like,
Yeah.
it's so like, you know, when it's played in that kind of quiet way, beautiful instrument.
Oh,
It
beautiful. And beautiful song. What a fantastic tribute for your father.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm glad that you liked it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this has been an absolute joy.
No, me too. This is a great conversation, and then it's great just to talk to people who are doing great things for the local scene too. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you guys
Appreciate that.
for doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Musical
yeah.
Chairs of Massachusetts.
Yeah, there we go.
This is going on the guitar case.
Yeah. Oh, nice. We're honored for that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we really appreciate you coming out and doing this. I want to have the audience be able to find it. So, where can they find your music? Where can they find you at your gigs?
Well, yeah. So my name is Dan Cloutier. It's a French name. So if you're in Quebec listening to this, it's Cloutier.
Yeah.
DANCLOUTIER.com will get you to my website, get you there. The Iceberg is streaming on all platforms. Just go wherever you go find it.
Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram at Dan Cloutier Songwriter. On my Facebook, Dan Cloutier Music. I have a YouTube page, Dan Cloutier Songwriter. So those are the socials. But I'd love to see you. I got some fun shows coming up. I'm playing a big show in my hometown of Upton on January 17th, 2026, which is a silly date to say. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're not that far away from that, less than 2 months, and
Right.
26, man.
Yeah.
26, that's a number.
Yeah.
That's a number.
That's a number. And so that's be a big fun show. And then in March, I'm playing a big concert at Club Passim in Cambridge at the big folk venue there, which I'm really excited about, with my friends Ash and Eric from Worcester too.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm up at Allagash Brewery and lots of those little shows in between. Those are the ones I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But thanks guys for this opportunity.
No, thank you. This has been amazing. I'm so happy to have met you here today, and I'm just really just a fan.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikki.
Yes.
Yes.
So, guys, make sure that you are following us on all of our platforms. We really appreciate your patronage. Recently, we've had quite the explosion on YouTube. So, anybody out there listening on to YouTube, we love you. But we love you everywhere. So, whether you're listening on the audio formatted podcast or the video, or you're following our shenanigans on our social media platforms. But, that being said, Nikki, let them know where they can find us.
Yeah, we're on all of the major streaming platforms, wherever you listen to your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Pandora, all the things. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also on YouTube. So make sure you're giving us a follow. Not only does it support us, but it also supports all of the musicians that we have on the show as well.
Yeah, and that's the key is the bigger the spotlight we have, sure, it's great for us, but really it's best for our musicians and the area supporting, music culture. So, guys, we thank you so much. We thank you, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. And that's been another episode, I think, of the Musical Chairs in Massachusetts. We out.
Bye.
Bye.
Musical chairs.